Ink Ribbon.
Final Fantasy X is one of the best games of my life, and I'm very excited to share some fun and interesting finds on this game's protagonist. So with that, go ahead and take your seats at the Blitzball Stadium and relax. From being a plumber to being decapitated, here are 50 facts about Tidus. His name is never spoken throughout the entire game, and also never mentioned in 10.2. It wasn't until Kingdom Hearts that we first heard his name spoken out loud. The correct way to pronounce his name is Tidus, but don't worry, I say Tidus and so can you. The word it's derived from is Tida, which is the word for sun in Okinawa. We can also see that his celestial weapons require the sun sigil and sun crest. He's the star player of the Zanarkand Abes, the best blitzball team in Zanarkand, or rather, Dream Zanarkand. The team symbol is also Jecht's symbol, seen not only on his father's chest tattoo, but all over Tidus' uniform, including as earrings, a necklace, a logo on his pants, and a logo on the back of his overalls. The symbol may have been a new symbol introduced after Jecht disappeared in order to honor him. This was also suggested with the tournament being called the Jecht Memorial Cup, which is the blitzball match Tidus is competing in during the opening of the game. In the beta presentation of the game, Tidus had a different look, having black hair and darker skin, as well as noticeably flowy clothes physics. While Tidus is known to be blonde, his hair is actually naturally dark, as demonstrated by his roots, and in his flashbacks where he had brown hair as a child. According to concept art notes, his hair became naturally blonde over time after being bleached by the sun. The main visual theme for the game was based around water, so they wanted the main character to do something that involved water. Initially, he was actually an underwater plumber, which is why he wears the overalls, since they're from his original design. Once they decided that he should be an athlete, his design was updated to be more sporty, and it also led to the idea for an underwater sport, which became Blitzball. It's also worth mentioning Blitzball is the first ever sport introduced in the Final Fantasy series. Tidus was given a cheerful and outgoing personality in order to make him stand out from the more infamously moody protagonists like Squall and Cloud. In the game's files is an unused weapon for Tidus, which is no other than the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy VII. At one point, a piece of concept art depicts Tidus with a totally different outfit, having a short-sleeved purple hoodie. His starting weapon is a water-themed sword with a nautical design. This sword was actually a gift from Wakka to his brother Chappu, who opted to use Machina weapons instead, leaving it behind. The name of the sword is fittingly called Brotherhood. Despite being a famous athlete, during the events of 10 he is only 17 years old. Tidus is the son of Jecht, who was the most famous athlete in Zanarkand. Imagine him as being the David Beckham of Blitzball. This led to a lot of pressure and conflict with Tidus, with him having to follow in his dad's footsteps as an athlete. Tidus lives in a houseboat. You only get to see it very briefly, but taking a closer look, it's actually a fully 3D environment with lots of detail. You can see that his outfit is hanging on a wall, dozens and dozens of trophies and awards, a nice little kitchen complete with a washing machine, and even some fast food bags and cups on the center table. The overarching threat to Spear that keeps killing everyone is Sin, who Tidus learns is actually his father who has become Sin. On a few occasions, Sin kills dozens of people just for a chance to see Tidus. There was a short-lived game called Final Fantasy Mobius, which takes place between the events of 10 and 10.2 and features Tidus in several scenes. In Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, Tidus was added as a character and has a really cool animation attack.
He kicks! And... let's go! And score!
In Final Fantasy XIV, you can buy the Abes attire, which is essentially Tidus' outfit. It's available as a DLC purchase for $12, of course, and is dyeable, so you can change the colors of it if you want to. There was a Japanese exclusive party game called Itadaki Street Special that adds characters from Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy. Among the Final Fantasy characters from 10 are Auron, Yuna, and Tidus. In the Dissidia games for PSP, we got to see Tidus again, this time in an alternate universe, and we get to see him in 3 different outfits. One is a modified version of his outfit that's a bit ripped, one is based on his original outfit, and one is a more sporty, shirtless version of his outfit. Speaking of Dissidia, in terms of the best graphics, the closest we've come to seeing Tidus in modern day graphics was the short-lived Dissidia NT game. This game was made by Team Ninja, which gave all the characters a little bit of a dead or alive look. His voice actor is James Arnold Taylor, who you may also know as Ratchet, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Magneto, Wuldor Sockbat, and many, many more. He also has a YouTube channel with tons of behind-the-scenes stories and a variety of content if you want to go show him some support. There's an infamous joke that has become a criticism of the game's voice acting, which is the laughing scene. While the laughing is stiff and unnatural, it's not bad voice acting, it's intentional. In fact, if you listen right after the fake laughing, you can hear them go into actual laughing.
Here it is, for once and for all, James Arnold Taylor telling you about the Tidus laugh. It was supposed to be an awkward, goofy, dumb laugh.
When the game was released, internet forums had the running joke that Tidus had the same haircut as Meg Ryan. In an interesting line of dialogue, Tidus refers to Macalania Temple as Macarena Temple, completing it with an "I," just like the song. You know the one.
They say Seymour went to Macarena Temple.
Macalania Temple.
I?
In the Japanese version, Tidus simply mispronounces Macalania, and that's it. There's no joke or anything. Tidus's overdrives are some of the best of all the characters and are executed by timing a button press correctly. The faster you do it, the more damage it will do. Each new overdrive is unlocked by simply using them. Spiral Cut is the default, then after using it 10 times you get Slice and Dice. After 30 overdrives you unlock Energy Rain, and using 80 overdrives unlocks Blitz Ace. During his Blitz Ace overdrive, whichever female character has the highest affection level will be the one to throw the Blitzball to Tidus. Tidus's celestial weapon is the Caladbolg, which originates from a sword in Irish mythology. It's actually a pretty common weapon name throughout several video games, including World of Warcraft, Gears of War, and more. In order to get it, the player must complete the Chocobo Catcher minigame, which I guess I will say is controversial, because some players find it impossible, while others don't find it to be much of a challenge. Once you've gotten the Sun Crest and the Sun Sigil, you can power it up to its full potential and unlock its abilities, which are Break Damage Limit, Triple Overdrive, Evade and Counter, and Magic Counter. That means Tidus will get a free hit if an enemy uses physical or magic damage against him. Because he doesn't know the many rules and traditions of Spira, he's often doing things he isn't supposed to.
Hey, but what if something happens? What if the summoner dies?
The precepts must be obeyed.
Like I care.
To easily be forgiven for this, he sticks to the story of being exposed to Sin's toxin, which is implied to cause everything from memory loss to hallucinations. At the beginning of the game, Tidus ends up meeting a group of Al Bhed, including Riku, and helping them with an underwater mission. This mission is never properly explained, but Tidus is actually helping them salvage the Fahrenheit, which is the airship they end up using towards the end of the game.
It was his fault that me and my mother... Mom? It's her.
The main reason Tidus has so much anger and hatred towards his dad is because of his mom. She was deeply in love with Jecht, and every time he was around, Tidus basically became invisible to her and all her attention would go to him. When Jecht disappeared and was presumed dead, she lost all her energy and basically gave up on life. She was so ready to die that she didn't even become an unsent, instead going straight to the far plane. In Final Fantasy X-2, there was the introduction of the game Sphere Break, which revolves around coins. There is a Tidus coin you can win, but his name is just written as 4 question marks and has a value of 9 with bonus traits that multiply your quota by 5. In X-2, you can get Tidus in your party through the creature capture mechanic. In the final tournament of the Fiend Arena, he can be fought as a boss and you will have the option to recruit him into your party. There's a very rare chance of him appearing in Blitzball in X-2, but you can recruit a Zanarkand player by the name of Star Player, who is none other than Tidus. By encouraging the party, and especially Yuna, to not follow traditions and not summon the final Aeon, Tidus is able to help them break the spiral of death and stop sin permanently, making him the pseudo-hero of this game. In the original draft of the story, Tidus was going to be revealed as an unsent. Due to the Sixth Sense having been released so recently, they decided it was too similar of a plot twist, so it was rewritten with Auron being unsent instead. In X-2, Yuna sees a sphere of a man who looks remarkably like Tidus, serving as the catalyst for her searching for him and trying to see if she can bring him back. Shuyan is an unsent who looks like Tidus purely out of coincidence, and lived in Zanarkand 1,000 years ago. Unlike other unsent, he has the ability to possess people. When Tidus dives off the airship at the end, you can see him give Jecht a high five. This was to signify that he and Jecht are finally at peace with each other.
I guess that leaves the newest guardian. Star Player of the Zanarkand Ames. You are...
Throughout both 10 and 10-2, Tidus' name is never spoken. This is due to the use of the mechanic where the player can name him anything they want. As far as I could find, this was the last Final Fantasy game to have a nameable protagonist before it was phased out. If you play Final Fantasy X-2 up to 100% completion, which is not easy to do, you can get the true ending where Yuna wishes Tidus back into existence and they are once again reunited. This is continued in the novel Final Fantasy X-2 Ein no Daisho, 1 year old, and focuses on Tidus and Yuna being sent back to Besaid from 1,000 years ago, which is obviously very different from the Besaid they know now. This turned out to be a strange find and I may have to do a whole video on it. The book is not only vague and leaves out a lot of detail, but it's also split into 3 themes, dubbed Boy Side, which shows Tidus' perspective, Girl Side, which shows Yuna's, and Boy and Girl, which shows both. Oh, and Tidus' head gets blown off. Like literally. Yuna is holding his severed head in her hands. On second thought, I don't think I want to read this. And before you ask, yes, it was written by the same writer who wrote the story for 10 and X-2. In the audio drama Final Fantasy X Will, we once again follow Tidus, taking place 6 months after he's brought back by Yuna at the end of X-2. He still has his status as a legendary guardian, but a lot has changed and he now lives in Bevelle.
So let's do this. I'll create a letter sphere for the council, and you can take...
I saw Tidus in Bevelle. Your boyfriend, right?
Yes. Did he look well?
He was hiding it, but he looked injured.
The last we hear of Tidus, even though him and Yuna are no longer together as a couple, he decides to continue to follow Yuna and help her, since he promised to be with her forever. If all that remains canon, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
I didn't think this would... I'm sorry.
Well, as long as you're aware of it.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm sorry, but I'm no longer looking at you.
What?
I think I'm in love with someone else.
So what did you think about Tidus? Is he a main character you like, or did Square Enix make a mistake? Share your thoughts down in the comments, and if you learned something new, then Jecht shot that Blitzball into that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Until next time, I'm Kai Morgan, and as always, thanks for watching Ink Ribbon.